You wake up each day believing the world is your enemy. Difficult people, unexpected problems, unfair circumstances. You move through life thinking the turbulence is outside you. But if you pause, if you look closely, you notice something deeper. The real chaos does not come from events. It comes from your response to events. Two people can experience the exact same situation. One leaves bitter, one leaves calm. One lets the incident consume them. One observes, reflects, and learns. Same event, different experience. The difference, choice. Between stimulus and response is a space, and inside that space is your power. Most people live without noticing this space. Anger appears. They react instantly. Fear appears. They retreat without thought. Criticism appears. They defend automatically. Life becomes a series of emotional reflexes. But the Stoics discovered another way. They practiced emotional observation. They watched emotions rise and fall like waves. Imagine standing on the shore of the ocean. Waves crash. Some are small, some enormous. But the shore itself remains steady. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Emotions arrive, anger, joy, sadness, excitement, but they no longer dictate your actions automatically. They are signals, not commands. Anger, for example, signals that a boundary has been crossed. It is not evil, but uncontrolled anger destroys. Words are spoken that cannot be taken back. Relationships fracture. Decisions are made under duress. The Stoic response: delay, observe, allow the emotion to pass through before acting. This transforms raw emotional energy into useful information. Anger becomes a signal to investigate, not a command to attack. Fear evolved to protect you, but in modern life, it exaggerates threats. Failure, rejection, loss. Opportunities go unclaimed, dreams go unspoken, lives remain smaller than they could be. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Fear is a prediction, not a reality. When fear is observed rather than obeyed, its power diminishes. Prediction is often wrong. Separation between reality and imagination restores clarity. Sadness, too, has value. It teaches you what matters. Loss, endings, collapse, these are not enemies. They are teachers. Accept sadness. Reflect on it. It deepens understanding, compassion, and self-awareness. Pain becomes a teacher. Emotional mastery is not numbness. It is awareness. Feeling fully without surrendering control. Imagine experiencing anger without losing control. Fear without surrendering courage. Sadness without losing hope. This balance is inner equilibrium. Equilibrium builds resilience. Resilience does not remove hardship. It allows you to absorb hardship without losing direction. Emotional storms arrive. You remain steady. Clear thinking follows. Decisions improve. Life transforms. No emotion rules you completely. You always retain choice. The Stoics practiced pause, observation, reflection, deliberate action. Every time the silent forge of character grew stronger. Mind sharper, heart steadier, life navigable. Even in chaos, calm becomes possible. Calm is the foundation of inner mastery. Emotional awareness gives balance. Adversity reveals the strength of character. Let's focus now on anger. Anger feels powerful, immediate, justified, but left unchecked it becomes destructive. One word, one gesture, one sentence. The damage spreads, relationships break, decisions fail. Regret builds like sediment over time. The Stoics taught, delay, observe, respond deliberately. Pause, let the feeling rise, let it fall. Watch it, examine it, ask yourself, is this worth reacting to? What will I gain by acting immediately or by waiting? The greatest remedy for anger is delay. Seneca. When you observe anger instead of obeying it, something shifts. It ceases to be a tyrant, it becomes a teacher. Anger tells you something mattered, something was violated. Pay attention. but it no longer commands. Now consider fear. Fear is a guardian. It exists to protect. But in the modern world, fear often becomes distorted. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of looking foolish, fear of trying and falling short. Fear doesn't vanish because that is impossible, but its control can diminish. Imagine fear as a shadow. You are aware it exists. You see it. You move forward anyway. That movement, despite fear, is courage. Not the absence of fear, not the elimination of threat, but action in the presence of it. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Most fears are predictions, not realities. Think of the countless opportunities missed because of imagined threats. Words left unsaid, messages unsent, ideas unspoken, moments that could have changed life, abandoned before they even began. By observing fear rather than obeying it, its power fades. It is no longer a command. It becomes a signal you can interpret calmly. And in that calm, clarity emerges. You begin to distinguish between real danger and imagined suffering. Sadness is equally instructive. Loss, endings, failed expectations, they are not enemies. They are teachers. Accept sadness, reflect on it, let it reveal what you value most. Through sadness comes compassion. Through reflection comes understanding. Pride softens. The heart learns patience. Pain becomes a teacher, not a prison. Emotional mastery is not numbness, it is awareness. Awareness of anger, fear, sadness, joy, excitement, all without surrender. Experience them fully, recognize them, learn from them, and then act. Imagine, anger rises, yet you do not lash out. Fear appears, yet you proceed. Sadness arrives, yet hope persists. This is inner equilibrium. Equilibrium is resilience. Resilience is not the absence of hardship. It is the ability to face hardship while remaining steady, thoughtful, and deliberate. When emotional storms strike, you retain control long enough to think clearly. Decisions improve, life outcomes strengthen, patterns of reaction become patterns of reflection. No emotion rules you completely. Setbacks that once caused panic now inspire reflection. Conflicts that once triggered arguments now create conversation. Failures that once crushed motivation now become lessons. This transformation is subtle but unstoppable. Choice is the cornerstone. No emotion, no matter how intense, has absolute authority over your actions. Pause, observe, reflect, act deliberately. Each time this is practiced, the silent forge of character grows stronger. The mind sharpens, the heart steadies, life becomes navigable. Even in chaos, calm is possible. Calm becomes the foundation for the next level of mastery, enduring adversity, because emotional awareness alone balances life, but only adversity tests strength. Adversity reveals the strength of your character. The Stoics didn't avoid difficulty, they faced it, they used it. They understood that life's true test is not in comfort, but in challenge. And when they did, their wisdom deepened, their courage solidified, and their choices became their own. Between stimulus and response lies your freedom. Viktor Frankl. And now, with calm, awareness, and observation as your foundation, you are ready to face adversity without breaking. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. Life's pressure does not announce itself. It arrives suddenly, uninvited. Problems, loss, betrayal, unexpected challenges. Most people panic, react, or retreat. But there is another path, one the Stoics practiced, to face adversity deliberately and use it as a tool. Adversity is not your enemy. It is a sculptor. Fire tests gold. Adversity tests the brave. Each challenge reveals where weakness hides, where patience falters, and where courage can grow. The moment you face difficulty without retreat, the silent forge shapes your character. Obstacles are opportunities in disguise. The ordinary person views obstacles as frustration, regret. You can let it crush you, or you can shape it into wisdom. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is not empty philosophy, it is practical. Every obstacle is a teacher. Every difficulty is a chance to grow stronger, calmer, wiser. Picture yourself standing in the storm. The wind hits you, the rain lashes your face, the ground shifts beneath your feet. Most would retreat, step back, seek shelter. But you remain, you observe, you adapt, you endure. This endurance is resilience. Resilience does not mean you feel nothing. It does not mean hardship is easy. It means you retain clarity, focus, and purpose even as the storm rages. It means your inner self, the shore, remains unmoved even as waves crash relentlessly. Resilience is clarity under pressure. Small setbacks may seem overwhelming at first, but each conscious response strengthens your mind. Each deliberate pause before action reinforces choice. You are no longer reacting, you are directing. Visualize this, the marble bust, weathered and cracked, but standing tall. Each fracture tells a story, each chip is a lesson. Life's storms do not destroy the marble, they reveal its resilience. Adversity reveals who you are. Even a single setback is a chance to practice calm. Anger, fear, and despair may arise, but with observation and deliberate action they lose power. The mind no longer obeys every emotional surge. It becomes steady. It becomes a place of strategy, reflection, and growth. This is the deeper purpose of adversity, not to punish, not to break, but to refine. Every challenge is a test of patience, courage, and wisdom. Every trial is an opportunity to strengthen the silent forge within. Seneca said, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests the brave." Do not shrink from difficulty, embrace it. You may feel small in the presence of life's trials, but even the smallest effort, repeated deliberately, compounds. Each act of endurance, each conscious choice to face difficulty, becomes a building block. Slowly, invisibly, your character is shaped. Resilience does not make life easier. It makes you stronger than life's storms. And once this inner strength is cultivated, no challenge, no misfortune, no betrayal, no fear can dominate you completely. You retain control over your mind, over your choices, and over your actions. You are the master of your mind. This is the essence of the Stoic forge. Adversity is inevitable, pain is unavoidable, but clarity, calm, and strength are yours to choose. Observe the storm, endure the storm, and emerge stronger, wiser, unbroken. Most people spend their lives trying to control what cannot be controlled. Other people's opinions, outcomes, timing, the future. The desire for control creates tension. It creates frustration, stress, anxiety. Every attempt to dominate the uncontrollable leaves you drained and defeated. But here is the Stoic secret. You only have control over yourself, your thoughts, your actions, your choices, nothing else. Focus on what you can control. Release the rest. Every thought of "what if" that drains your energy is a reminder that you are attempting the impossible, controlling the uncontrollable. Every moment spent worrying about others' reactions is wasted effort. Every fear of the future is a distraction from the present. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Where will we place our focus? Your power lies in your attention. Shift focus inward. Observe your mind. Watch how your emotions rise and fall. Pause before reacting. Ask, is this in my control? If yes, act deliberately. If no, release it. Even when outcomes are uncertain, your mind remains a bastion of clarity. Even when chaos surrounds you, your choice is your own. Reaction is no longer reflexive. It is deliberate. You are no longer a leaf in the wind. You are the calm shore. You are the master of your choices. Most suffering comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. The anticipation of pain, failure, or rejection is often heavier than the events themselves. When you realize this, stress diminishes, anxiety fades, your energy returns. You are no longer a prisoner of imagined outcomes. Seneca said, "He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary." Do not suffer for what has not yet happened. Focus your energy on what matters, your actions, your decisions, your discipline, your integrity. These are the things within your power. Let everything else go. Let the wind carry it. Let the tides shift as they will. You remain steady. You remain clear. Visualize the marble bust, calm, unshaken, half in shadow, half in light. Nothing external can disturb its form. Its expression is serene. Its presence is commanding. Its composure is a reminder. Control begins in the mind, not the world. Inner control is freedom. When you internalize this principle, everything changes. Decisions become clearer. Emotions become manageable. Life becomes navigable. You retain choice even in moments where others feel trapped. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to practice calm. Every setback becomes a lesson in deliberate action. Now, imagine a day where no external circumstance can disturb your focus. You encounter difficulty, criticism, or unexpected setbacks. Anger may rise, fear may whisper, doubt may appear, yet you remain steady. You observe, you respond deliberately, you maintain control. You are the captain of your mind. This is the foundation for mastery. Without control over yourself, nothing else can be mastered. But with it, you become resilient, focused, and free. The storms of life may rage outside, but inside you remain calm, observant, strong. The silent forge grows stronger with each choice, each pause, each deliberate act. Over time, the mind becomes sharper, the heart steadier. Life is no longer chaos. It becomes a series of intentional actions guided by wisdom and awareness. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Once control over your mind is established, the next pillar of Stoic mastery is purpose. Without it, even clarity and calm are incomplete. Life without purpose drifts like a leaf in the wind, reactive, directionless, and fragile. Purpose is your internal compass. It anchors you during storms. It shapes your decisions. It gives meaning to every choice, every pause, every action. Without it, resilience becomes endurance without direction. Strength becomes merely survival. Purpose transforms endurance into action. Discipline is the bridge between purpose and action. It is the habit of choosing what matters over what feels comfortable. Discipline is showing up every day, even when your mind resists, even when your emotions pull you toward distraction, even when life seems unfair or indifferent. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Discipline is freedom in practice. Your identity is shaped by repeated action, by the choices you make, by the way you respond to every challenge. Each day you either forge character or erode it. Each decision, no matter how small, accumulates. Anger controlled, fear observed, sadness understood. Every deliberate act strengthens the silent forge. Your character is forged, not given. Identity is not defined by titles, possessions, or external recognition. It is defined by internal consistency, by how you act when no one is watching, by how you respond when circumstances are difficult, by how you maintain calm when chaos surrounds you. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always rise if you will always look." Every emotion is an opportunity to test purpose. Anger appears, you pause. Fear arises, you observe. Sadness knocks, you reflect. Each pause, each observation, each deliberate action aligns your identity with your highest values. Discipline is not punishment, it is guidance. It is the daily practice of aligning your actions with your principles. It is saying no to what is trivial, immediate, or reactive. and saying yes to what is meaningful, enduring, and deliberate. Discipline is the path to mastery. Consider the marble bust before you, unmoving, resolute, sculpted with intention. Its presence is calm, strong, deliberate. Its expression reflects purpose. Its gaze is steady. This is what discipline looks like in the mind: calm, unwavering, purposeful, regardless of external turbulence. Purpose, discipline, identity. By combining clarity of mind, resilience through adversity, control over emotion, and discipline aligned with purpose, your identity becomes a fortress. You become impervious to chaos, guided by deliberate action, and shaped by the silent forge. Every decision, every response, every act of reflection builds the life you intend. Over time, the mind grows sharper, the heart steadier, the soul stronger. Life becomes a deliberate journey, not a series of reactions. Be the master of your life every day. This is the essence of the Stoic path. Purpose anchors, discipline guides, identity reflects, and all together they form the silent forge of character. Turn raw emotion into wisdom. Emotions arrive without invitation. Anger, fear, sadness, joy, excitement. Some are fleeting, some strike like lightning. Most people are enslaved by these feelings, reacting reflexively, letting them dictate thought and action. But there is another way, a way the Stoics mastered: emotional alchemy, the process of transforming raw emotional energy into wisdom, insight, and deliberate action. Feel fully. Respond deliberately. Consider anger, not evil, not inherently destructive. Anger signals that something meaningful has been violated, a boundary crossed, a principle compromised. Yet uncontrolled, anger wreaks havoc. Words are spoken in haste, relationships fracture, decisions fail, regret follows. The Stoic method is simple: pause, observe, reflect. Delay the response. Let anger inform you, but not control you. Let it guide, not dominate. Delay transforms impulse into insight. Fear is similar. Fear evolved to protect humans from danger, but in the modern mind, it often exaggerates threats. Imagined scenarios loom larger than reality. Failure, embarrassment, rejection. Fear paralyzes. Opportunities slip. Dreams remain unspoken. Yet when observed, fear loses its power. It becomes information rather than command. Prediction, not reality. As Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Most suffering is invented by the mind. Sadness, too, carries lessons. When a relationship ends, a dream collapses, or a chapter closes, sadness signals value. Something mattered, something meaningful changed. By resisting it, we deny understanding. By accepting it, we gain insight, compassion, and humility. Pain teaches what the heart values. Every emotion can become a teacher. Each surge, each wave, each heartbeat offers information. The process is the same: observe, reflect, act deliberately. Imagine, anger rises, and instead of lashing out, you observe its lesson. Fear appears, and you step forward anyway. Sadness arrives, and you honor it. Then let it guide reflection. This is emotional alchemy, turning raw energy into insight, transforming reaction into wisdom, chaos into clarity, pain into guidance. The mind becomes a forge. Each emotional encounter strengthens it, hones it, tempers it. When this practice is repeated daily, the mind becomes resilient. Emotions no longer dominate. They inform, they guide, they teach. You retain clarity even in turbulence. Calm arises not from the absence of challenge, but from the mastery of self. The marble bust before you is a reminder. Strength is not in rigidity. Strength is in resilience, balance, and awareness. Cracks may exist, imperfections are visible, but the form remains unbroken. This is the result of deliberate emotional mastery. By practicing emotional alchemy, you create space between stimulus and response, between feeling and action. That space is your power. That space is freedom. That space is the foundation of the silent forge. Every encounter with emotion becomes a training ground. Each wave of anger, fear, or sadness is a test. Each reflection is a tool. Over time, these practices compound. Life becomes navigable, decisions wiser, reactions deliberate, the mind sharper, the heart steadier, and with this, you are no longer a passive participant. You are a sculptor of your own experience, shaping your inner world, guiding your path, forging resilience and wisdom through deliberate observation and action. Suffering is inevitable. Loss, failure, disappointment, betrayal. Life does not grant immunity. Most people react by resisting, blaming, or avoiding. But the Stoics knew another truth. Suffering is a teacher, a forge, and a test. What does not break you, shapes you. Friedrich Nietzsche. Every challenge presents a choice. You may surrender to despair, allowing emotions to overwhelm, or you may observe, reflect, and respond deliberately. The difference is resilience. Resilience is not the absence of suffering. It is strength within suffering. Imagine the marble bust, exposed to centuries of wind, storms, and erosion. Cracks form, pieces chip away, yet the form endures. Strength is not in invulnerability, it is in endurance, in the capacity to maintain integrity amid pressure. Consider anger, fear, and sadness during hardship. They will appear, they are unavoidable, but when you practice emotional mastery, they no longer dominate. You retain space between feeling and action. You respond, not react. You endure without surrender. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Resilience grows through repetition. Each deliberate act under pressure is a hammer strike in the forge of character. Each pause before action is a layer of tempering. Each reflection strengthens the mind, making it capable of facing greater trials without faltering. Life will test your patience, your courage, and your clarity. Circumstances may provoke anger, fear, or despair, but with practice, you transform these moments into lessons, insight, and strength. Imagine yourself walking through life's storms, rain lashes, winds howl, yet inside, you remain calm, observant, steady. Every emotion is acknowledged, processed, and applied deliberately. You are no longer a leaf in the storm. You are the grounded shore. This is the deeper truth of emotional mastery. Inner calm does not remove the storms. It allows you to navigate them. Pain becomes informative, challenges become guides, and suffering becomes the medium through which resilience is forged. The Stoics understood this centuries before modern psychology. They trained themselves to endure, to reflect, to respond deliberately, and to act with clarity. Each trial strengthened the silent forge of their character. Adversity reveals the strength within. Even minor difficulties are opportunities. A harsh word, a small failure, a moment of doubt. Each is a chance to practice calm, clarity, and deliberate action. Each contributes to the refinement of character. Over time, repeated practice creates a mind that is unshakable in principle, calm in emotion, deliberate in action. The storms of life no longer dominate. They become tests to demonstrate resilience, not reasons for despair. Resilience is the product of practice. Your life, then, is the accumulation of these moments, deliberate choices under pressure, calm observation amid chaos, and the transformation of suffering into inner strength. This is the silent forge in action. Wisdom is learned, not inherited. Wisdom is the culmination of choice, observation, and reflection. It is forged slowly through deliberate practice, through endurance, and through the transformation of raw experience into understanding. Every emotion observed, every challenge faced, every failure endured is an opportunity to grow. The silent forge does not act visibly, but it strengthens the core. Calm becomes second nature. Clarity becomes habitual. Resilience becomes instinctive. Observe, reflect, act deliberately. Imagine life as a series of waves. Each wave brings emotion, challenge, and experience. Some crash with force, others lap gently. Most people are swept away, tossed between highs and lows, reacting without thought. But the Stoic walks the shore. Waves arrive. They may be high, they may crash, but the observer remains steady. The mind is the shore. The heart is the anchor. Each wave, each emotion, each challenge is acknowledged, analyzed, and used as material to strengthen the self. You are not the waves, you are the shore. Reflection is central. Without reflection, experience is wasted. Without contemplation, emotions dominate. Pause to ask, what did this teach me? How can I use this knowledge? How does this refine my character? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always rise if you will always look. The source of strength is within. Through reflection, wisdom emerges. You learn the difference between what you can control and what you cannot. You learn to distinguish signal from noise. You understand that suffering, emotion, and difficulty are not enemies. They are tools of insight. Anger is no longer destructive. It signals boundaries. Fear is no longer paralyzing. It signals caution. Sadness is no longer overwhelming. It signals what is meaningful. Joy is not fleeting. It is recognized and appreciated fully. Every emotion is a teacher. Through daily practice of observation, reflection, and deliberate action, life becomes a series of intentional choices. Emotional alchemy transforms raw energy into wisdom. Adversity strengthens resilience. Discipline and purpose shape identity. And over time, the mind, heart, and soul become aligned. Alignment creates mastery. Wisdom allows you to navigate life with clarity. Challenges no longer provoke panic. Conflicts no longer provoke anger. Setbacks no longer destroy motivation. Each difficulty becomes a mirror, a reflection of your values, choices, and strength. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." By cultivating wisdom through reflection, you gain freedom. Not freedom from difficulty, not freedom from emotion, not freedom from adversity, but freedom within them. Freedom to act deliberately, freedom to observe, freedom to remain calm. Every moment becomes an opportunity to practice mastery. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to refine the self. Every emotion becomes material for the silent forge. The marble bust before you is a symbol, calm, observant, resilient, purposeful, wise, weathered by time, yet standing steadfast. Its cracks and texture tell of endurance. Its gaze reminds you that strength is cultivated. Its presence teaches that the silent forge works slowly, subtly, invisibly, but effectively. As you integrate these lessons, your life becomes a reflection of inner mastery. Calm persists amidst chaos. Clarity persists amidst confusion. Strength persists amidst challenge. And wisdom emerges from observation, reflection, and deliberate action. Through emotional alchemy, resilience, discipline, and reflection, you are no longer a passive participant. You are an architect of your mind, your heart, and your life. Every action, every response, every moment of awareness builds the life you intend, guided by wisdom and anchored by choice. You have learned the art of observation. You have learned the power of choice. You have endured adversity. You have practiced emotional alchemy. You have disciplined yourself, cultivated purpose, and reflected deeply. Now all of these practices converge into one profound outcome: inner freedom. Freedom is not the absence of challenge. It is not life without pain or suffering. It is not the removal of obstacles. Freedom is the ability to act deliberately, to respond rather than react, and to maintain calm even in chaos. Marcus Aurelius wrote, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Chaos will arrive, people will disappoint, circumstances will shift, life will test your patience, courage, and wisdom. But through the silent forge, you have developed the inner tools to remain calm. Anger may rise, yet you respond thoughtfully. Fear may appear, yet you act courageously. Sadness may arrive, yet hope persists. Each emotion is experienced fully, yet it does not enslave you. Each challenge is faced fully, yet it does not break you. This is the culmination of the silent forge. Each practice, observation, reflection, resilience, discipline, purpose, and emotional mastery interlocks. Together, they create a mind that is steady, a heart that is resilient, and a life guided by wisdom. Even when storms rage around you, your inner world remains unshaken. You are not defined by external events. You are defined by your choices, your reflection, and the deliberate cultivation of your mind and character. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." Every wave, every challenge, every emotion is a teacher. Each moment, a chance to exercise choice. Each reflection, a chance to gain clarity. Each deliberate act, a strike of the hammer in the silent forge of your character. Imagine the marble bust, weathered by time, enduring storms, yet standing tall. Its gaze is calm, strong, and resolute. Its form carries the lessons of endurance, observation, and reflection. This is the legacy of the forge. Strength built in silence, wisdom built through practice, calm built amid chaos. Your life is a reflection of your inner mastery. Choices are deliberate. Emotions are guides, not tyrants. Adversity is a teacher, not a punishment. Purpose anchors. Discipline guides. Reflection informs. And through this, you achieve true inner freedom. As you move through the world, you carry the silent forge within. It is invisible, subtle, yet powerful. Each moment of calm, each deliberate choice, each reflection strengthens it. Each challenge faced strengthens it further. This is the culmination of Stoic mastery, a mind sharpened by observation, a heart tempered by resilience, a life guided by deliberate action. Even in chaos, you remain unshaken. Even in adversity, you remain deliberate. Even in suffering, you remain aware. And in this mastery, you discover something extraordinary. Freedom, calm, and strength are not granted, they are forged. The silent forge has done its work, not in the world around you, but in the world within you. And that truly is the ultimate mastery of life.